Sunil Gavaskar with us out here to talk about Cheteshwar Pujara and what happened on day 2. Sir, welcome. Thank you so much for talking to NDTV once again. It's a pleasure again. But before we get talking about the cricket, isn't it a great thing that we are all here and we don't have to give gifts to our sisters?
Oh no, I already did. They tied me a rakhi just before I left, that gift is nothing. The love that you get from your sisters is priceless.
Well, talking about loves and blessings, let's talk about the fact that it was probably a blessing in disguise for India that Cheteshwar Pujara played this test, because Murali, Vijay injured, Shikhar, Dhawan injured, not best suited for this kind of a wicket as much as Cheteshwar is probably, right?
Well, yes, possibly because he's got a tighter technique. He's got the temperament to ride out the tough period, and yesterday in the morning it was tough, as well as this morning it was tough. So you need somebody who won't be too ruffled in case he gets beaten outside the off stump or the ball comes back and hits him on the pads. So you need somebody with that kind of a temperament who will say, okay, this is your time, my time will come after a little while.
Right. What happened today with Cheteshwar scoring his 7th test run has got to make the Indian team management think about their decision to play Rohit instead of Pujara, right?
I think it's not just that. I think the fact that when Shikhar and Murali Vijay come good through their injuries, they will automatically resume their place in their scale. Rahul, who's got 100. So I think it's a pleasant headache. It's a very, very pleasant headache for the selectors. It's always good to have problems of plenty rather than not having anybody to choose from. So I think Indian cricket could be blessed. You could say it's blessed simply because I think they've got so many people to choose from.
22 innings. After that, he scored a test century. Rohit hasn't scored a century for 22 innings. This is tight. It's difficult to decide between the two, right?
It is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough call for the selectors. And so, you and I should be thanking our stars. We are not selectors.
I am, definitely. I don't know about you. Probably they'll just call you up and say, what do you think, sir? Anyway, was it hunger for Pujara, or was it his better technique than probably most of the other batsmen?
Temperament. Temperament covers all these aspects that you're talking about, you're asking about, because temperament is what separates the men from the boys. I've always felt that. And I think that was evident today. He was under enormous pressure because he was making a comeback. He was under pressure because he was in an unfamiliar role at the test level, opening the batting. So that pressure, and he's the kind of person who's like a sponge. He soaks the pressure. And because he's such a, his demeanor on the field is such a calm, collected and composed demeanor, when the ball is moving around, and if you have somebody like that at the other end, it actually makes life easier for the batsman at the other end. Because you've got somebody who looks, okay, fine, composed. This is happening, this is likely to happen, bound to happen, because there is some juice in the pitch and the ball is new and moving. But you need somebody who's going to cool things up, calm things up, and he did that brilliantly.
After this innings, amongst the current Indian batters, who is the one batsman you would trust on tough conditions with your life?
Well, listen, I retired a long time ago, so don't bowl all these googlies and all to me. Well, I don't know. I actually haven't given it a thought. Maybe the next time we are together, I'll think and give it to you.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Well, this is what is called leaving the ball outside the off stump.
Are they doing that enough? That was my next question, actually. Virat and Rohit, are they playing away from the body, or are they not leaving the balls as they should? Which of the two are they doing?
Well, I think Virat has gone back again to pushing hard at deliveries which are outside the off stump. Today, in fact, he played a delivery which was 6th or 7th stump. And that was the problem with him in England when the ball is moving. He obviously likes the ball to come at him at speed, some speed. But when it is moving a little bit, maybe at about 130 kilometers per hour, that is the time he looks to reach out for the ball. And I think that's what gets him into trouble.
And Rohit the same thing? Or is he playing? He
pretty
should
much
leave the
same
balls.
thing.
He should have left that.
Pretty much the same thing.
Balls left.
Where did he play? He played on the 5th or 6th stump. I think their little movement, the trigger movement, is something that they need to work on. If they work on their trigger movement, I think they'll be able to get a better idea where their off stump is.
I'm sure it's not easy to work on that trigger moment, but talking about stats, and I'm probably we never find ourselves in a position where we can stump him, but let's try. This one might just. 4th innings of Roger Binney and 9th innings of Roger Binney. 4th innings of Stuart Binney and 9th innings of Stuart Binney. Ducks.
Well, what am I supposed to say to that? It's just one of those things, I guess. He got a good delivery, Stuart, the one that nipped back in.
Yeah, first ball.
You get a first baller like that, it's difficult.
Yeah, but is he making a case for him being dropped now?
Well, this is the kind of pitch where they are expecting him to bowl well, and which is the reason why they have retained him. And if he picks up a couple of wickets, then he will have done, at least some of the things that were expected of him.
Now, I would understand and assume that you're probably a slightly old school, but when you talk about Naman Oja on his test debut, he's playing the ball in the air. What would you say to a man like that?
Well, actually, if that's your natural game, then there's not much that you can say, but you can only say to the person, just be a little careful about shot selection, because you can get away with some of these shots in first class cricket. There's always that little gap between first class and test cricket, which is the reason why a lot of people who do well at first class level, be it bowlers or batsmen, struggle at the test level.
Right.
Because as a batsman, you do not get the same number of scoreable deliveries in test cricket as you get in first class cricket. And so you've just got to be just that little bit patient.
Right. There was this situation yesterday where we believed, and we spoke to the pitch curator. He said that I told the umpires very clearly that we can have some more play. Today it seemed that they could have had at least half an hour more play. What are they doing?
Well, I think it was very disappointing, frankly. I think they went by the playing conditions where apparently it says that if you're not able to resume play by 5:15, despite the fact that there was an additional half an hour to take care of the shortage of overs, you couldn't resume play. But I think that's a playing condition that the ICC needs to look at, because it really didn't make sense. The covers would have been taken off around the same time as maybe what was supposed to be the scheduled close of play, and you would have still had maybe about at least 15 minutes of play. Frankly, as far as I'm concerned, even if it's going to be just 5 minutes of play, which is going over and above that, half an hour allotted, I think you should play if the light is good. Simply because I think that is what you owe to the public.
Yeah. Okay. Has that robbed a possibility of a result now?
No, not at all.
You still think there'll be a result?
I think so. I think if the weather doesn't interfere and you get another 270 overs, maybe a little more than that, maybe about 280 overs, which is 90 overs per day over the next 3 days, then surely there could be a result.
India winning or losing? Too soon.
I think India in a very good position.
They've
put themselves in a very good position from what they were at lunchtime to get to almost 300. I think that's a very good position.